SDS Radio. The proof is in the pudding podcast, and I'm sitting here with my good homie, Pengame Classic. How you feeling out there, brother?
Lovely, man. Thanks for having me, my brother.
It's
Let's
definitely
do
a
this.
pleasure.
SDS.
Yo, definitely a pleasure to have you here, yo. So, I'm excited about the movement. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Samantha Lavelle for connecting us. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? The whole shout out to the homie Hash. Yo, so for the people out there that don't know, Pengame Classic, yo, you've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, man. I've been involved in music for a hot minute, man. Just a passion, something that, our family just really was involved in.
Right.
And I just gravitated to it. My mom was real heavy in music and, she always passed stuff down to me as I was growing up. And, little by little, I just got into it, man, so it was definitely something that kept me focused and kept me driven throughout youth and into adulthood. So I definitely credit my family for that.
That's a fact right there. The name
Yeah.
alone holds weight. Pen game. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
means so
Had
that
that.
means bars.
Yeah. Take
Yo,
pride
so
in that, man. I take pride in that, bro.
that's definitely real hip hop. I listen to a lot of the music. Yo, it's dope. What you doing? The movement. Yo, it's so much I want to get into right now, yo. But I want to take it to the beginning. Like, what was your start in hip hop? What first made you fall in love? I know you said your family,
Yeah.
but what artists and what music made you say, yo, I want to grab that mic?
It was definitely the mid '90s, the '94s. Like I was hearing bits and pieces of Paid in Full and some of those artists that were in that particular time. But when I started to really grasp what was going on, it was LL. Um, he got piqued my interest because my mother was always playing LL.
Right.
I mean, Around the Way Girl probably got played like 50 times, in a week over
Classic.
there at the crib. Mom's is playing that out, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely heard the LL Public Enemy too. And
Public
that's
Enemy.
that's that's a real big one that I probably haven't said before on prior interviews, but definitely Public Enemy, Chuck D and those boys, definitely, from what we going through as people. Even no
Exactly.
matter how young I was, I saw it and I could relate. So once I heard that, I was like, man, that's what's going on to our people out here. So that's what kind of sparked my consciousness into music, knowing
Right.
that it wasn't just people on there partying and talking about going out and having fun. Because I know, like you said in one of your interviews, Kid and Play was real heavy.
Right.
The house party movies,
Stuff
and
like that.
then yeah, them as artists, listening to their projects, loving their work too, not just their films, but their music too.
Right.
That got me into it, but that was more of a conscious side of it with Public Enemy that got me involved in it as well. So that you got the Nas's, that's when I started really
Definitely.
trying to see what type of style I would want to develop. Wu Tang, of course.
Wu Tang.
You got after that, started getting into like Mobb Deep. The
Definitely.
Infamous is probably one of my favorite albums of all time. My
Hard.
cousin, my cousin Miraculous and I, we do a lot of tracks, and when we feature together, we try to have that same energy, like if it was an Infamous, feature or whatnot. So
Right.
we still tap into that energy today. When we go back and forth on tracks and when we feature together on ours, we try to keep that energy alive. And the Jay-Z's and so on down the line. I mean, Big L is one of my favorite artists of all time too.
L.
I
Big L.
tap into L quite frequently,
Right.
and another cat that as I gotten older and stuff and started rapping, another cat that really caught my attention that a lot of people probably don't even know because he passed before he could really get hot was Stack Bundles. Man, I was
That
really
bundles.
gravitated to Stack Bundles and what he was doing with the Dipset Bird Gang and
Right.
the mixtapes and being a part of the A Team with Joe Budden's Fabulous, Paul Kane, and the Ransom, Hitchcock,
Ransom.
those guys, that movement, that whole mixtape era completely. The J.R. Riders and when
Right.
all those cats got their name, that's really when it was like, okay, these cats are monsters.
They're
If I'm
serious.
gonna be able to jump in this lane, I gotta be able to be dropping shit like this that's gonna be able to you know, I mean, it was like every week somebody was coming out with something,
With
that
something
was
new.
dope. So that's when I really, like, okay, I got to step my game up, and this is the level that I want to come in at. So that's where I started measuring, my bars and my delivery, and slowly just started developing more and more. And now we where we at now, baby.
That's a fact right there, and you definitely doing your thing. And you mentioned the definitely legend before his time, Stack Bundles.
Oh yeah,
He
this is
influenced
it.
the whole sound of the Dipset. When you think about Max B, Jim Jones, how they took so much from Stack. Stack was definitely a legend. Actually,
Hmm.
one of the guys in Team Collective, he grew up in Far Rockaway in Stack's hood. So I'm
Yeah,
definitely familiar with Stack Bundles.
yeah. I
So
mean,
yeah,
it's crazy when somebody will take a name from another artist. That's like if somebody come along and take one of my chants and uses it and like do so dope and so nice, like I don't even have a problem with it
right.
because he stole he didn't steal, but he took that what was the hell Little Wayne was saying something, man, and Stack
Took it.
just took it, man, and just started using that.
Right,
And it wasn't even an issue, man, because just every time Stack just touched something, it was just so hot, man, that you couldn't even deny it, man. And that just that type of energy, man, that cat brought was
right.
something that I really, 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 really centered myself around, man.
That's dope right there. So let me ask you before we get into the journey as an MC, what's the best part of the process for you? Creating the song, the studio, the video, or the performance?
Um, Probably would be the performance. Can really get out, let the people, see the skill set, and just let off some of that energy, man, and kind of
Right,
black out because I like to just kind of just display the skill and kind of just go within and empty out, just empty out because my whole writing process, which I feel like makes gives it my signature or my niche, is I like to talk about things that involve myself, things that
right,
I've gone through. So it's like real. It's got real substance to it. It's relative to me and who I am. So a lot of the time it's like therapy. It's like you just getting stuff off that you haven't had a chance to really address. So when you're performing it in front of people, it's actually therapy and therapeutic in a sense. So that part of it is something that I always enjoy, and it's just a real good way of putting aside some of the demons or just
right.
sharing that energy with other people so they can be influenced and really ride with it.
That's a fact right there. And I watched a couple clips of your videos of you performing. And one thing that stood out, you was in a show one time and you told them to stop the music. And that's one thing with like, yo, sometimes people hide behind the beat.
Yeah,
It was kind of like stop the music. I want them to hear what I'm about to say.
yeah,
And you went
yeah.
in and you killed it, bro.
That's because sometimes, man, it just doesn't show the skill set, man. It don't show with the music. Like I had to let the people know, like, I want you to hear this, man. You got to hear this. And then they're just looking like, damn, this guy's just going off. That whole thing was like 3 minutes straight,
Right.
and that way they could see, like, that just separates the men from the boys right there.
That's a
When
fact right
you
there.
see an artist go in there and do that, you can't do nothing but tip your hat off to him and be like, yo, this dude, yeah, yeah, this mug is bringing it.
He's nice.
So that's what I wanted to do with that.
That was dope. And you definitely did that. So growing up, where are you from?
Muskegon, Michigan.
Muskegee, Michigan. I
Yeah,
said I
yeah.
can't even say it.
No, it's cool. It's
Right.
it's a smaller town on West Michigan.
Okay.
It's right on Lake Michigan, about 3 hours from Chicago, 3 hours from Detroit, and a
Wow.
lot of people just call it Ski Town. So you can always just say
Ski
Ski
town.
Town. They're gonna know what you mean. But yeah, Muskegon, Michigan is where it's at.
That's dope right there. So what was the music scene like out there?
Pretty much whatever was on the radio at the time. You always gonna have the old school in
Right.
Michigan. That's not going nowhere. The Motowns and all the old school music. That's all year round. Every barbecue and cookout and family reunion. That stuff is just relived, and that actually you can even take it even closer than that. Every Friday night fish fries or card
Right.
games or whatever at the houses, that old school is being played, man. So that is always going around, and then pretty much whatever's in rotation is also is something that you'll see most of the younger generation, that no matter what era, that's going to be kind of the pattern. But the whole Detroit lane is a whole different lane as well.
Right.
That is where you got the spitters, real creative producers. You're gonna have a whole different sound, because a lot of the people there are influenced by so much. Being from the Midwest, a lot of us was influenced by Bone Thugs and Harmony sound.
Sure.
A lot of us was influenced by Nas, and a lot of us was influenced by Outkast or NWA, or just whoever. So you got a
Right.
whole conglomerate of styles in that areas, and then you got on top of that the old school, the start of really music with the Motown. So you, no matter what it is somebody's doing, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get a good quality, and they already got a good blueprint to follow from all the music that's come out of that state in the past.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. It's so much history and
Yeah.
music's so rich out there. So it's like I noticed in your projects, you have that passion and soul. Is that part of the foundation that was laid too outside of the lyrics? Like I know your sounds, you have a specific sound in your projects. Like each time is different, but it's
Yep.
like a theme when you do your what's that what is that motivation and what's that process like
It's
when you're
actually a strategy. What it is coming up, a lot of artists want to try to be different in some way, shape, or form. But the
right,
fact that I've been doing it for a while, that when I put out new projects, I had to come up with a creative way to kind of get people to this the styles and the stuff that I possessed over the years. I never wanted to just cut that out.
right,
So I always would come back to it and display it throughout certain projects with certain themes. So that was a strategy to put it all together and to gain fans throughout the years, and not lose them, and still gravitate them back into the future work, and remind them of, hey, he still got this type of flow, or he still got the storytelling down packed, or
right,
just try to bring it full surface sometimes. So that was just a little strategy that I do with those projects. But I know I've noticed a lot of people, if they hear, they're like, man, it'd be nice if you got this type of track or this type of track. And
right,
I'm like, check out the old projects, because
right,
that's my strategy. I could just pile it all in one
right.
project each year, but that way I got them wanting more and wanting to hear more, so I just stretch it out.
I feel you on that. That makes sense right there. And it's definitely working for you. And
Appreciate that.
I hear a lot of versatility in your style and just from conversation with you. You're a very knowledgeable person in the business. You're not
Yes,
just an
sir.
artist. You definitely know the business side
Yeah.
and you have a lot of knowledge. Sometimes it's like people they talk and they do rap and they just rapping. But it's like, yo, you actually study, you actually a man of principles
Yes, sir.
and it comes across in your music. Where did that come from? What gave you that drive? Was that just the way you were? That's just the way you were before music?
Well, a lot of the knowledge, and some of the speakers and some of the people that have touched me with that knowledge, it's a responsibility that comes with it. So as you change and you vibrate throughout life, it's a fine line when you're trying to do this music stuff, and then you're trying to grow as a person. But at
Right,
some point you have to just grow, and you can't let the music at all tamper with something that's divine. So what I try to do to bridge the gap in between my growing process is to give something back. That's my way of feeding and giving back through the knowledge, and which will ultimately propel me in that department to higher being, and just a higher elevation. Because if that's something that I love, that's natural, you don't want to dilute it to the point where it's a God-given gift and you're using it for a purpose that's not really going to grow it or expand it or elevate it. So that's why I try to have my style centered around all the elements of hip hop that are
right,
fundamental, that are precise, where record labels come in, They want you to do music like this and that, and we need to have it looking like this. Well, what is that? What is that standing for? What is that? What if you go on a basketball team, they're going to look at the players that they have. They're going to evaluate their talent. They're going to be like, we want to be this type of team
Right.
due to the talent that we got, or it's a structure or some type of way they're doing it. And with us in the music industry, it's like whatever is selling, and that's not really going to cut it
Right.
for how I come across, because I want to be more so longevity in the personal side, and what I just shared with you all doesn't grow without giving those seeds some way somehow in that music. So I have to somewhat deliver a message at all times, because that is a part of my personal growth, and that is I'm not short having myself at all coming on any shortcomings, because
Right.
I'm trying to just appeal and please people.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And I definitely noticed that from our first few conversations. You got real deep. You got real deep on me. And it's sometimes, how you be in a room and it's
Yeah.
like it's a real conversation going on, and it's kind of like you just listen, like you soaking it up.
Yep.
You were dropping some real facts that made me think, and I'm like, yo, he's on a whole nother level. When we say other, I know you got category other.
Mm-hmm.
Do they go hand in hand, or
Yeah.
is that
Yeah, it's a way of life, man. It's a way of life. It's a lot of us have it already in us. So I figured that'd be something that people could gravitate to once they started, really coming down. That's why you got the C question mark O, because
right?
it's really category other, but that question mark is defined in that we're other. What is other?
What is
Because
other?
it's no category that it can be placed in. People, the Western civilization, which is where we live at, is
Right,
all is always categorizing things. Something has to be defined. Something has to be, you know, uh, put in this particular category. For instance, African American,
right,
Spanish, da da da. All this, those categories have to be shattered, and because if there's truth out there that we're not going to go too deep about that, but if there's certain truths that define those is not accurate,
right.
then now you're talking an other, you're talking something else. So that's why it's also a wake-up call for people to be like, to explore and to see what their other is, and
Wow,
express it and embrace it.
that's dope, and it's deep right there, bro.
Yeah, yeah, it's a real deep meaning behind it. I wasn't gonna put something on my body, that was foolish, man. It had to be well thought out and
Right,
put together well, and leave a lasting impact.
that's a fact right there. We're going to jump into the clothing line later, but I want to start keep it right here in the beginning. So going from being inspired to the music, what was that journey like to you actually, coming up with the rhyme, coming up with your style, creating that first project? What was that like back then compared to now?
Oh man, it's the same, man, which is a blessing, man. It's the same. I get the same energy because I had a chance to just really sit back. We watched rap go from the 80s to 90s to just super duper huge as far as business.
Right,
So a lot of seeds were dropped over the years to us. We watched this thing go from something to nothing. So I can remember Diddy, always saying, I think he said this in a few interviews, it'll definitely come to light when I bring it up to you, you'll remember it.
right,
He was like, you got to make, your your next, I think it was your next song should be your best song. You
right.
know what I'm saying?
Every
So
time.
yep, your next song should be your best song. So I just always took that approach, and then with that formula that I just stated previously, how I like to split my projects up, and I just knew it made it where I switch it up each time. Every time is a theme, or new way I want to take it. So it's
Right,
almost like a new artist every time. So it's like I'm to the point now, man, where I have to. I'm competing against the younger me's,
right.
on these other projects, and making sure I'm coming at a level that is beast compared to what I've done in the past. So that's usually all I'm focused on, is making sure that I'm putting out music that is, consistent with the brand that I'm developing at this point.
That's a fact right there. It's like an evolution. You're evolving every time, coming back, morphing into something greater than you was
Yes, sir.
originally. Yeah. So let's start with the first project. What was the title of the first one?
Think it was called like Damaged Goods, man. And it's not even, I don't even have it on any platform or anything like that. But it's on my web page where my mixtapes are at. It's underneath. It's on there. It's on there to be heard. It's on my Bandcamp site. I left it on there, and
Right.
that was the very first album that we put together, and it was pretty much at the time a lot of mixture of what was hot. I had Teflon the Don working on that project. Shout out to Teflon.
Salute.
And we use a lot of different sounds, and we tried to incorporate some of the newer sound at the time, which is still the same sound now.
Right.
That's out. It's funny how that style was coming out then. We talking 08, 09, and it's still the same thing now. You know what
Still
I'm
the
saying?
same.
So like it hasn't even changed whatsoever as far as the masses is concerned.
Right.
So we experimented with that, and I tried to put some nice dope lyrics over it, and we kind of mastered that. So that was the first one right there, was the Damaged Goods project, probably about 08, 09. It was probably 08 or 09 and 2010.
That's dope right there. So let me ask you a question. I know you're a strategic brother. So what was the concept behind the damaged goods? Like break it down for me because I know it means something. The damaged
Yeah,
goods.
oh yeah, the Damaged Goods was just basically, it was the it's kind of like the way I was putting those projects together was kind of like how Eminem put his together. How he's got the Breed Labs, and he's got all these projects that are like storybooks. So the
Right.
Damaged Goods was the beginning. It was like, you know before the consciousness, just
Right.
coming into the world, and knowing things are wrong, but at the same time, just navigating through, trying to propel, trying to get to a higher level, and in the meantime, having fun, being young, and just partying and having a good time in the midst of it, but
Right.
still dropping fruits and still coming through with that substance at the same time. So it's a journey. The projects are basically a journey through my life. It's through what I'm going through at that particular time, and what I'm trying to go to at by the end of it, you get a feel for where I'm about to go to next.
Wow. That's dope right there. So it's pretty much they're walking with you, looking at your life through your eyes, through your mind.
That's right.
That's dope right there. That's a dope concept in a dope way. So damaged goods. Who did the production? You said Teflon Don.
Yeah, he did the whole project.
Okay. And then from there, what came next after Teflon Don?
A lot of mixtapes, because we were still weren't really in the streaming, we're just getting started.
Right.
So I got the Phoenix New Sun series. Shout out to everybody out there in Arizona. My
Right.
man DJ Rerun. We did Phoenix New Sun 3 and 4, and then I jumped into the Michigan Wolverine mixtape, Teflon the Don on that mostly. And then
Okay.
I did the No Cover mixtape, and
Wow.
that is when I started the Category Other brand. And it was just putting these projects out, kind of getting the feel for it, kind of, doctoring it up, patching it up, going from there. Then I went from that to the Back to the Past 1, Back to the Past 2, and Back to the Past 3. Three
Wow.
being the most recent one from 2019.
Okay.
So these projects have gone all the way up, covered a 10-year, different a 10-year gap, and with Back to the Past 3 being the last. I wanted it to be the last mixtape that I've made, but I've had requests to do another. But I wanted it to be the last because I kind of went out with a bang on that one.
I feel
But
you
then,
on that.
yeah, yeah. Then you go to the Loner album, and that one's real big right there. The
The
Loner
loner.
album was real big.
Right.
That one, you go from the lone, or actually the Black Side. You got the Black Side
The black
album,
side.
and then you got Graffiti Rap. Is where we
Graffiti
got
rap.
right now. Yep, with Melo Aphrodite on the way.
Melo Aphrodite. Hey, yo, the graffiti rap was dope. And the series,
Yeah,
the back to the past.
yeah.
Yeah. Those and the graffiti rap, I think I went back. Anything before that, I have to go back and listen to.
You still in a good place. You
Okay,
still
that's
in a
dope.
good place, bro.
Yo, and what I'm hearing up there, like I said, you have all the essences of hip hop in there. And it's a difference between being a rapper and an MC. I will put you in the lyrical MC category.
That's what I want.
Definitely.
That's where I want to be at the end of the
So
day.
so when you was in Arizona, from Michigan to Arizona, how did you wind up in Arizona and what was that scene like coming from Michigan? Was that new to you or was it a smooth transition?
It was a smooth transition, but it was new at the same time because I had never been out there and didn't know what to expect. Thinking desert and cactus and hot weather. That's all I
Right,
was thinking.
right,
So some shit went down, man. Where I was at, I think I was in Kansas. One of my men had got into some legal trouble,
okay,
and kind of broke up that situation. So I had to relocate on the drop of a dime, and my mom's was stationed out there in Arizona. She was, doing her thing, and she was like, you should, slide on out here,
right.
and see if you like it here. So I went down there with intentions just to visit, and ended up living there for like three and a half years.
Wow.
And that scene out there was really good for me, man. I met a lot of people, met some influential people, and
Right,
definitely put my that's when it all started for me, knowing, okay, look, I can put myself up here in a situation, being so close to California, having connections out there with,
right.
my man Vo, shout out, does security work now. He bodyguarded for Nipsey, R.I.P.
R.P.
For
Nipsey.
did the last Grammys that Nipsey worked. He was bodyguarding for him there. And
Wow.
yeah, it was real sad that day, man. I remember getting a text message from him, saying that, the brother had died because he just signed on as security for him.
Right.
So that was going to, help him out. Nipsey was, a very good brother, was
He was helping others.
yeah, and my man needed that help at that time, man. I mean, I'm
Right,
putting my man's business out there like that, but that came at a time where it were, it was either that or, something
right,
else that we ain't gonna talk about. But
right. Not for
Nipsey
you.
came through in a nick of time for my man, and helped supported that whole household, man, because he, what he did for them by putting them on,
Right,
kept that whole household afloat. My man got, three daughters now. So that you could see the impact immediately just by, working with him, and then seeing it, change this man's life to the point where now he's moving real smooth with the security out there. So having him out there at the time, he wasn't in security, but he was, still MCing at the time. So we did some
right.
tracks. We did a lot of shows out there in Arizona.
Okay.
He would come through. I think he was there when I did the DJ Quick and Corrupt show, and just branching out from there. I know I linked with some Black Wall Street artists. Started doing shows, and Amari Sotomayor had a little label that he was running, and I
Right,
got a chance to tag along with one of the artists out there and just soak in some of the behind the scenes stuff that I'd never seen at the time, especially on that level, and
right,
just kind of just see what's important to me and what's not. What if this is the major leagues, now I could carve my niche because I see what everything is about.
right. So it gave you like that. It gave you that key to the game, kind of that key to the access. Now you see what's going on. You done figured out the pieces to the puzzle.
That's right.
Right. So now that you figured out the pieces to the puzzle, coming from you already putting your grind in. Now you see the other side of the game, and now the pieces are coming together. What lessons did you learn, and what were some of the adversities you had to face to go from that level to the next level?
Just believing in yourself is number one lesson. Believe in yourself, have a plan, and know your finances. Know
Right,
what you're going to spend, know what you're not going to spend. And a lot of people get into the music and we just want to do music. If somebody comes up with a situation, we all in, because it's coming from the heart, so we're all in.
right,
But you got to look at it like it's like you yourself are the business.
right,
If you look at it like you yourself are the business, and you're going to conduct it like that, and it may not be in your best interest to take on certain opportunities, because if it's cutting too much into what you got going on, you should always keep yourself first. And
right,
if anybody's, not, I know a lot of the industry artists, they will say there's no friends in this, You can't you can really trust people. They're right, but at the same time, another man can respect a man who has his priorities straight, keeps his family first,
Right.
and is not willing to just jump, at any given thing if it violates those codes, or
Right.
if it violates, family being supported and things of that nature. It's a man of real substance and real character. So stay true to yourself, and don't let the opportunity and the moment be bigger than the path that you are on in life, because that is the most important thing, to stay on that path, and to get off that and to get on to modern day time. That's why I feel what we got going on now, with
Right.
the whole certified nation,
Right.
Samantha, City the Gray, everybody over there, and then yourself coming in, Hash, OG Tech,
Oh yeah.
is
Salute.
just that what I'm talking about. Like, everyone's on that path, where we're all moving in the same direction. We want to go forward.
Right.
We can't have anything come in and jeopardize our regular lives, because it's just a tight window between, you know, in a good investment or a bad investment. And we're trying to make sure that we're only doing good investments from this day forth,
That's a fact right there.
because you don't want to hurt. If you hurt yourself, take yourself out the game. Now the team is missing what you
A
could bring
piece.
to the table.
That's a fact right there.
Yep.
You said a powerful thing right there. The team and the pieces and what we bring to the battle. So let me ask you about your experience. Now you're doing shows out there, right?
Yeah.
What is one of your favorite moments? One of your best performances? What would that be?
Oh man. It's been a lot of shows, man. It's been a lot of shows. I would say probably in Detroit. I was on a tour where we had a show out in Michigan, Farmington Hills, I believe, on the outside of Detroit. It's like close. It's like suburb closest to Southfield.
Okay.
So yeah, if you it's on the outskirts of Detroit. So nice little chill spot. Just because I was, in that area for the first time and really doing the show there at home. And as soon as I got up on the stage and was talking to the people, just letting them know, hey, representing, Michigan from Ski Town. I didn't need to say nothing else
It
after
was on.
that.
It was
I didn't
on.
need to say I'm from, I've been living in this. So I didn't need to give them no other background. All I needed to do was just tell them I was one of their own, and people just started getting up out the seats,
Right.
coming closer to the stage, cheering, showing love, and that energy just propelled me to just have an excellent performance that night. And
Wow.
they really rocked with it, and that was important. Just being home and having that love from the people that's from where you're from.
Right. That's a fact right there. It's a different when it's like, yo, that's one of our own. They represent. But I know you also get love in other cities as well. But it's nothing like home. But you done
Nothing.
been to a lot of places, brother.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
done been to a lot
man.
of you done been to a lot of
Yeah, bro.
places, yo. So for the people that don't know, let them know. Sometimes we don't want to toot our own horn, but I did a little research. You've been a lot of places. Just tell them some of, I would say, your top 5 spots that you performed at.
Miami. Let's see. Definitely Arizona. Definitely Arizona. Uh, Houston. Uh, Detroit. Uh, Ohio.
Wow.
Illinois. Illinois definitely. I probably already named five, man. But
Man,
just just
that's
just those. It's more too, man. Shoot, I like performing in Oklahoma.
wow.
Um, shoot, Kansas definitely, because I grew up out there a lot, so definitely got to mention Kansas in there too.
Okay. See, that's the thing. I never been to the Midwest. What
Oh,
is
it's
the
love.
scene out? What is love out there?
It's love, man.
I definitely got to get out there, yo. I had a couple friends go to Denver a couple times, and they came back and they said, yo, they love hip hop out there.
Yeah.
From the East Coast, you wouldn't know what it's like. So you said Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
What was Oklahoma like?
Oklahoma is, I mean, there's some talented artists out there, man, that can, they just got their own niche to it. And that's why coming from the Midwest and being like in Michigan and places when we would go to these spots, we could identify with these artists
Right.
because we come from versatility. So as long as they had the skills, they didn't need to sound like artists from New York, but they
Right.
had the technique. With their own cadence and their own delivery, they had the technique, they had the skills. So
Right.
it was just like seeing another just the essence of hip hop just in their story, their version. And that's where you kind of just want to gravitate to it and hear them like, okay, yeah, I see what they're talking about. And then you see how the people are reacting to it. Like, okay, that's their thing. Now you kind of got a good representation of what they doing out here, on the streets or in their neighborhoods or whatever, and you can identify with it, and you kind of already know, like, okay, so that's what's going on out here. That's what they doing. Okay, bet.
Right. Wow. So you were doing the indie thing when you were out there. You were doing this on your own when you was
Yep.
traveling on these tours. How important is it for indie artists, right?
Yeah.
You said a key thing earlier. A lot of people they just focus on the music. When you're indie artists, what are some of the main adversities and things that people make mistakes doing when out? They're trying to make it happen. They're indie and they're trying to just be an artist. What are three major mistakes that they normally make?
uh Give away money and not take money in. They want to pay for performances or pay for spots, or somebody will hit them up like, yo, we got spots, and you want to jump on at any given thing that you got coming up the ranks. And that's to go to the end of that statement. Add up the money. Like, seriously, are these artists out there, add up the money that you spent,
Right.
rather it's beats, whatever it is, just add it up. I promise you, it'll be way more money than it costs to just go get the damn venue yourself. It'll be
That's a fact.
way more money than it costs to just gather with some other MCs or some other people that you don't even got to be MCs. There's a lot of people who want to put in on music, and it'll probably be way more than it costs to conduct a tour.
That's a fact.
So you giving all these other cats, business opportunities. You're going to these shows, and it's like, showcase style, because they're hustling, they're getting paid. 15 different artists on stage and all that. And that, you look at that as a business. Like I said, you're treating yourself like a business.
Right.
That's not good for your brand. That's not good for your brand. You're not really showcasing anything. You're just a part of someone's hustle.
Right.
So when you look at a lot of, nah, I got to step back from that and put myself in a position where I'm shining. So that would be the number one. The second thing is just monetizing, making sure that you are getting money back for what you're putting in. If you're spending money, I know it was CDs back in the day,
Right.
creating them, your merch, anything of that nature, you got to you got to get the bread back.
Right.
You got to get the money back, and that lets people know that to rock with you is to invest in you, and that way when you grow, they feel a part of it because they have already put in and invested in what you're doing. And you got to show them growth
Right.
each year that you put something out, that you're also growing as a brand at the same time, so they know it's real.
And they
And
see where
then
the money's going. Right.
yeah, and then networking. You know, I've taken is part as many opportunities as I can. I've networked with as many people as I could. So I wouldn't say that's something that I didn't take advantage of, but I know a lot of people might, miss the boat when it comes to just you performing. You see some cats, that's not really the type of music that I do. Still network with them. You never
Right.
know what somebody else might like. And people be surprised because a lot of the tracks that I do, that's me. That's what I like to do. But
Right.
you don't know what I like to listen to. I could listen to all type of music and become a fan of it because that's not necessarily the energy that I give off. It's not who I am as an artist, but it doesn't mean that I don't like it.
Right.
I don't have to just stay liking one particular thing. I like a lot, anything that's dope. So those three things definitely.
That's dope. And that's definitely powerful right there. And if they took those three, that'd change their game right there. That'd take them to another
Yeah,
level
whole nother
already.
level, man. Whole
That's a
nother
fact.
level.
That's a fact right there, yo. And that networking is key. like you said, and monetizing.
Yep.
And then the third one is leaving money on the table. A lot of times they're throwing the money away, and it's like people are making the money off of the artists, and they don't get nothing. They're just constantly kicking out, kicking out, kicking out. You're from the CD era too, right? Where
Yep.
CD selling the CDs, so
Yep.
you know what it was like out there. And you back then, that was a whole nother make you or break you. It's like you could be the nicest artist, but if you couldn't get out there and move that merchandise,
It was a no cut. You know, you couldn't cut corners on that. You had to show what you was made of.
right?
You know, your hustle had to come into play.
That's a fact right there. And then category other, was that before graffiti rap? The clothing line, was that before or after?
Yeah, it was before the clothes really started kicking off for category other, like around the loner and Back to the Past 3. So that's
Okay,
when that's when that started kicking off, and I started really dipping back into the clothes, because we had did stuff before earlier. You know, like when we were out there in Kansas, we had clothes and all type of stuff, man. And then we, you know, I wasn't a part of that movement, or I wasn't highlighting that. I kind of went into my own, and that's
right.
when I just started bringing that stuff back to the surface, but with my ideas, of course, and my style and how I wanted it to be portrayed.
That's dope right there. Is this when y'all was on the tour?
Nah, this was probably before I even went to college, man. This is like
Oh
oh
wow.
03, oh 02.
Right.
And after that, I didn't really deal with the merch. I was just focusing on CDs and stuff like that. So
Okay.
this was probably like around 2012 when we started coming back to the forefront with the thoughts. And then when we put the merch and stuff together, that would be about 2016, 2017, 18,
Wow.
19. Now, you know, where we at now.
Right, right. So y'all were planning. It was already on the table. Y'all just had to put it together.
Yeah, I had to put it together. It had to be right, man. I didn't want to just throw something out there. It all had to be right.
That's a fact right there. And tell the people about the clothing. I know they can get it on the website.
Yeah,
Tell them
definitely.
more about the clothes.
Well, you know, we got the you know, I'm real particular about, you know, putting it out. I want to have in season. So we got right now pushing a lot of the hoodies for the graffiti rap. Those are on the site that's below right there. You go up to the store, and then you're able to purchase those. And you know, they're on there. I think I got them right here, actually.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Got them here because it's like a studio slash store down here, man. I got merch all over the place. Not all over the place, but it's all good. You got the graffiti rap hoodies, you know,
That's
got
dope.
those on there. And about to get them in red, you know, get a couple other colors going on in this. And then you got the you know, category other shirts. I always got these out.
Right.
Usually I have them in white and black, but I see people wanting the colors. And then, you know, the track suits dropping, you know, for the spring in
Right.
black and red. So the red ones will be ready by next week. So
Dope.
definitely pumping that stuff out, getting it ready for the summer too. So
That makes sense. I seen them. I seen them. I posted them on my page as well. I like what you're doing. The hat too. The hats available as well.
yeah, I'm gonna have the hats available for the before the summer. Definitely have the hats ready to go too. Have
Okay.
the snaps, have the fitteds, you know, have all that stuff ready to go.
That's dope right there. Before we get into the new project, I want to talk about graffiti rap.
Okay.
5 elements of hip hop.
Okay.
What inspired you to take that direction on graffiti rap?
Well, I figured it was really because of the Loner album was the reason why I went that angle with graffiti rap, because me and Teflon the Don, we were having a conversation. We were talking about the album and stuff, and you know, he was like, you know, it's a good album. You know, it's a real good album. But you know, I wanted you to just come harder and stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, it was themed. You know, I said
Right.
it was a theme. So it was centered around depression and anxiety. You know, and
Wow.
that was before, you know, COVID-19.
Right.
So when COVID-19 hit, like I was sitting on the project. So I hit up the local newspaper, you know, shot him the idea. He ended up, you know, posting it and did an article on it and stuff, and, you know, published it. So I decided, you know, that was the time to drop this thing, you know, now
Right.
that you got an article behind it, because it was centered around depression and anxiety. And I put it in there for everybody, you know, but
Right.
underlining was the black community, of course. You know,
Exactly.
that was the underlining, but it was written in a way where everyone could look at it and be like, okay, those are things that, relate to me. But it was really a message to our people to work on self. And
Right.
that's what that whole entire album was. It was the therapy on myself, saying things that I normally don't say. I know that lately on most of my music that I put out, I get those text messages. I get
Right.
those messages, and moms will hit up and be like, uh, I don't think you should have, said this or did that, and I'm like, explaining to her like, no, it was necessary. Like it's also, my life as well.
Right.
And that those are ways that I need to, grow and get on from some of these situations.
Right.
So I knew right then and there, I knew I was going the right direction. But he was like, Back to the Past 3. Damn, that one was dope. That was, because they kind of came, I kind of dropped them around, finished them around the same time.
Right.
And he's like, I wanted something like that, with the bars and all that. And so on Graffiti Rap, we're sitting up here pandemiced out, shut down. And that's when we was talking about that when you got your lab and stuff set up.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I
Y'all
was,
inspired me to go. Y'all inspired me to
yeah,
get the lab. None
I'm
of this would
telling
have
you,
happened if that conversation. That's the crazy thing about it.
yeah, it
This is
is.
in the lab where y'all told me when we talked.
Yeah.
This
And
this is where I'm at.
that's what happened. I put the studio up, and I think I did a 30-day challenge, which is still on my Instagram. I still leave those stories up. It's just like you scroll down my images, and it's nothing but Pro Tools sessions, like crazy.
Wow.
And it's like 30 straight days of recording. And people that was really rocking with me got a chance. They were literally at the edge of their seats every day, checking it out,
Right.
just seeing what is this cat gonna do next, because they was already with it, So she said, favorite record or project you've done to date. Ooh, that's tough. Ooh, man, bro, that is tough.
Yeah.
That's tough, man.
Matter of fact, that's the engineer my cousin I was telling y'all about. That's him right there.
The shouts out to you, brother. Shouts out
Yeah,
to you.
the
Much
one I was
much
telling y'all
respect.
about. Word.
Much respect. And I'm always working with engineers. So any engineers, you can't have enough of them.
Right.
So I will definitely toss this brother some work, and we'll get together on that. But no cover. No cover. I would advise anyone out there to start with that. If you've never heard me before, start with no cover, because it's just bringing, elements of hip hop with the storytelling. You're on there, no hooks, just straight story, like 3-4 minute long stories.
Wow.
With nice production and just some of those old school, instrumentals and stuff. No cover. Back to the Past 3, definitely, man. Back to the Past 3, definitely on there. I just attacked that. I attacked that one, and then I would go Graffiti Rap so far. But he said best, so I had to put No Cover up there.
No
But
cover.
back to what we were discussing,
Right.
the lab situation, when we just going through that 30-day straight process. That's when I put that whole project together. So it was really, once again, I was like, whatever. I'm like, this is a moment right
Right.
here. Like when we come across, we've lived in hip hop for so long, in our lives, we've had the pleasure of watching those moments. That's when you talk to Dre and them, and they're like, man, when the Chronic dropped, we went to the studio. There was
Right.
a brother down the street rioting. The TVs getting stolen, and we recording the Chronic.
Right.
So that's what I knew. I was like, this one's gonna be special, because look what the hell we going through. I'm like,
Right.
look what we going through in the world. So I'm like, I want to get back to the technique of hip hop, kind of piggyback off that Back to the Past 3. Let's
Right.
talk about what's going on right now, and let's give like a little introduction to some of the people that don't know. Let's go personal. Let's talk about some personal stuff on here. Let's talk about some real stuff on here. Let's have some fun,
Right.
and let's elevate the mind. Let's get the vibrational rate up, and let's try to get our people in the right direction. Plus, I had some dope ass features on there too. I got to give it up to the artists that feature. You talking about North Carolina?
Right.
North Carolina, one of y'all own is on there. My
Wow.
man, John Monte Ogbon, out of
Agba.
Charlotte. He goes. He has a lot of slogans, and monikers of like, best rapper out of Charlotte. Man,
Right.
got a nice movement out of there. He was on there. Concept Jackson out of Richmond, Virginia was on there. These are all dope up and coming artists that's
Right.
got skill, like they should already be in there like that. And
Exactly.
then my cousin Miraculous, definitely me and him are on probably every project that I've done, either beat or him singing or him flowing on there. And then the legendary Sky Zoo out of Brooklyn, was on that Beat Bullies track. So definitely salute the Sky Zoo for being on there. And that's just really how we put it together, man. I was just down in here vibing out. If it wasn't for the producer, young cat out of LA, that, I just heard some beats of his. I think I was on the gram looking and I heard some beats because I was working the Melo Aphrodite. It wasn't Melo Aphrodite, but it was, I was working on with that producer.
Right.
And then this cat came along and I'm like, I don't want people to wait for what they about to hear. I said, I got to put this one out first.
Right.
So I kind of just bumped that project to the side and just focused on this one in midstream. And we went ahead and put that thing out, man. And it's been epic proportions for me, man. It's kind of just recalibrated the whole movement off of that alone.
I feel you on that, yo. And one thing I can say about you, you work. I remember one night, it was a couple beats sent out, and you came back and you let me hear a little bit. I'm not going to tell them everything.
Yeah.
But, yo, it was like, pew, 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 done. Done.
Yep.
You work. So when he say, yo, I collab or we can make it happen, he gets busy. He's not the type, yo, that's going to take 3 weeks to get back with you.
Nah. We ain't doing that because at the end of the day, I treat myself like a business. It's
Right.
no different than a mom and pops around the corner or whatever. And that's what I like our black artists picture and put themselves in that mode. There's a level of professionalism that you have to exude, though.
Right.
You can't just be not hitting people up when they're hitting you up the feature. You can't just take a project from them and then don't hit them back with it. I'm treating my shit like it's professional. You're going to get it back 72 hours. If I'm
Right.
really vibing to it, you might get the shit back in hours.
Right.
So that's just how it goes. But at the max, it's going to be 72 hours and you're going to have it ready to go.
He's not lying. He's definitely not lying, yo. He's definitely not lying. So those were the features. One of the features I think you got a video for. We got queued up, right? The beat.
Yeah, that's that timing track. Yeah, timing.
Is it timing or the one before timing? I thought it was the one before.
I think that's Beat Bullies, which is on there, and then it's like two videos in one. That other one is called Coke. But Beat Bullies, I did a little bit on that one on there too. So definitely shouts out to that.
Okay, that's dope right there. You want to jump into that now, or you want to hold it for a little?
Jump into it now. Now that we spoke, I kind of like people to hear a little bit about it before they just listen to the music, because I'm more of a person than I am just the music too. So I think it's necessary that we go ahead and go into that joint right now.
That'll work. And then when we come back, we'll finish that off, and then we'll jump into the new joint that's about to come out.
Bet.
All right, that'll work. You can go ahead and set it up while I'm pulling it. You can go ahead and introduce it.
Okay, we got Beat Bullies and a little bit of a sample off this track called Coke. The Beat Bullies was produced by my man Casso out of Buffalo, New York.
Here we go. Let's get it.
Yes, sir.
Fly shit forever and a day more. Relay it to the rappers what they more or less. My wave is pitiful, critical to the absolute. I play with 4 receivers and 1 back. We run and shoot. In this bitch, buzz longer than the city block. Wraps around the corner from New York to California. Fake it till you make it. I swerve until I curve them, and mentally I disturb them. Off the bounce like Kyrie Irving on my Duke shit. Murder boot shit, do-rags and boot shit. Get ghetto in a minute, don't mishandle my percentage. A fine line between what you hate and love. To roaches and rats and habitat. Peace on them like a white dove. I'm up in Motown, shining like the mic glove, shining like a diamond, will blind them at them shows. They don't get no penetration, I'll space them. I can them like Freddie Jason, no Pennywise. Fuck with kids, do or die. Don't gotta be the toughest. Send them to my boss, the roughest. Home of Jay Dilla, Temptation. We bully beats, lifting your squad up. Several complications, medication, we large up. This poetry in motion, right as large as in the ocean. We gon' kill you with devotion. Do it like this. Staggering hoping. Okay. I don't even gotta speak. Big money when I speak. Yeah. For birds observed, they doing quick flips, quick trips, gassed up, Louis and I'm gassed up. Pistol whip a nigga to death. I need that stash, cuz before they find your damn head where your ass was. Nigga, respect my time before I jot this line. A word a minute, still press for time. You young niggas on the decline. I'm old, about to reclimb and reclaim. Pull a nigga down like I'm Usain. So keep it nice and checks. I bring spikes with text. See, question mark go. You niggas be with narcos. Burn them chili charcoal, but that's the way the park goes. Cook them like eat tacos and leave a nigga slot clothes. I do this since the Scott knows. You niggas really not pros. You're not your average savage. I do the part of my spot when they get hectic. These bars never neglected, perfected the essence. We playing chess with your records. My boy bigger than Texas. You a daily contestant. Fuck. You know I spit that cocaine, spreading all over the world. I'm like a fever. You need me in these streets. Get money in these streets. I don't even gotta speak. Big money when I speak. You know I spit that cocaine, spreading all over the world. I'm like a fever. You need me in these streets. Get money in these streets. I don't even gotta speak. Big money when I speak. Yeah. You know I don't.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's right there. That fire right there, bro. It's like it takes me back, yo. A lot of times, people, like I said, they rely on the beats, but I love when people bring bars, bro. And you definitely brought bars on that song. A lot of the music that I hear, you definitely bring the bars.
Yeah.
And I can say that, and stand on it. Like you're definitely a lyrical artist, yo, and you get busy. So that was the graffiti rap. I'm excited about the new album that you got coming on. That one right there is still in heavy rotation and still doing numbers.
Yeah.
Definitely moving right now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what you got going on. I don't want to mess the name up. It's one of those names that make you think like, yo, did he say that? It's two big words. I know it's Aphrodite.
Yeah.
Melo.
Yep.
Melo Aphrodite.
Yeah, we put it together.
Yo, where did that concept come from, bro?
The producer is Melo Mystic Music.
Right.
So to incorporate his work, we put the Melo on there, and then the Aphrodite is a goddess of love. So what we wanted to do is a lot of his tracks is kind of that neo soul, kind of that type of hip hop vibe. He's got some energy on there too, but this displays a lot of people that listen to my older records and stuff like that. I got a lot of those female tracks, a lot of them, and people wouldn't even know that out of listening to my later projects, you wouldn't even know that that's something that I can get down on. So the entire project pretty much is based on that theme where we talking to these queens on here, man. So, this is going to be one where, the ladies are going to be really in tune to this. That's, on a higher level. That's gonna be one of their favorite ones off the top. So the fellas gotta vibe with it because the ladies gonna be vibing to it. So that's why we put that Aphrodite in there to kind of the ones that's already eating right, already talking that vibrational. They're gonna be on it because it's gonna be something that they live in and that they're going through, and they already mentally see themselves as queens and on that level. So that's gonna be talking directly to those females and those that are inspired to be that. It'll be, uplifting for them.
That's a fact right there. And one thing that you told me one of the first days that we met, we gotta take them hard questions and look in the mirror and really. So when he's saying that higher level, you really mean that, bro. You really live in that.
Yeah.
So with the state of the world, the pandemic, and everything that's going on, right?
Yep.
We have to prepare ourselves for what's about to come. About to come. A lot of people out here, they don't even get it. They walking around blind. So like you said, for this one right here, the Melo Aphrodites to the females, the queens, they already on that level.
Yep.
Those are the ones going to get it. What about the ones that's eyes is closed and they don't know who they are?
I mean, they're still gonna love it because just the technique on there and the things that I'm talking about is gonna gravitate them in. Because off the past tracks that we've done like that, I've had a lot of females that have liked it. Whether they've been on that level or not, they
Right,
like what I'm saying. They like, how I'm coming.
right,
So it'll soak in after a while because they're gonna start hearing people that they're around talking about the things that they're doing. And my general idea is that, through conversation and spreading and listening to it, and hey, you need to listen to this, put you on to something,
right.
they'll get it. It'll eventually come to them, but it's going to come to them maybe through one of their homegirls putting them on and explaining it to them and stuff like that. But it's going to come to them eventually. They'll elevate up.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing that I was hinting at. From the music, you can open their eyes. So it's like sometimes we listening to something, we getting taught and don't even know it.
Yep.
That's one of the things that I like about how you have the knowledge, but you put it in your music and you're uplifting.
Yeah, definitely.
That's dope. So it's like the ones that's walking around, their eyes may not be open. They may fall in love with the words. They may fall in love with the jam,
Yep.
not realizing that as they learn the words, it's going to change their way of thinking.
That's right. That's what we aiming for.
So, yo, dope. That's a checkmate either way. You got them.
Yep. Either way. It's
Either
called
way.
undeniable results, man. We got to get them some way, somehow. We're going to get to them.
That's a fact right there. So you done been around the world. You done been some places. What are some of the places around the world you've been?
Paris, UK, Berlin, Germany, and Africa, the country Tunisia. My wife is from there. We went there just right before the pandemic, which is what I say on the beginning of graffiti rap, because that was, man, that just influenced me a lot, being there and then coming back and starting to record on that. So Africa, definitely. And yeah, that's a lot of the places that I've been outside the country, pretty much.
Right.
I mean, even though Hawaii is still the United States, but, I've been out there before too. So, some of the highlights that I've had a chance to experience, the blessings that I've had to be around these people and to peep their culture up close lets me know that, when I come back to the States, our problems are not their problems.
Right.
They don't really see our problems. So that helps me as an artist still remember that I got to keep the message out. And like you said, my brother, got to have the substance out. And if you can relate everybody's story, because I'm only going through my eyes,
Right.
I'm trying to relate everything for everybody in one. So, I don't want to be too selfish to just talk about what's going on and around the way. I try to put something in for everyone where I've touched and been can grab to and be like, yeah, this is a bit of piece of me. I can see this in me, in my life, in my existence, and what I'm going through.
Right. Right. So when you go into these other countries, you see the contrast. You bring that back here. It makes you look with a different perspective of the big picture.
Yes.
What are some of the similarities that we all have in common, and what are some of the things that's different in other cultures versus here in the States?
Having fun, loving hip hop music, just being expressive, artistic, energetic, emotional, the same things that get people sad. We have a lot in common when we look at it,
Right.
or being misunderstood. Uh, all these elements play into factor where the African American, quote unquote, over here in this country has a lot more in common with a lot of people across the globe, because the disparity between the poverty line is even higher in some of these European countries, where some of our white brothers and sisters, they're not living like the ones over here do. They live in just as poor, a lot, you look at the history of some of these people, some of these countries, Stalin, damn near Holocaust his people out there in Russia.
Right.
Those people were living dirt freaking poor. This being in Germany and seeing, going to Holocaust museums, and all you gotta do is just go downtown Berlin. Man, they still, they still got they haven't rebuilt that stuff. They left it there like that. You can go bombed out church at the top, bullet holes everywhere down there in downtown Berlin. They left it just like it was, man. When you could see when that war came through, it was real because those some of the buildings that they have left behind, man, it's just bullet holes everywhere.
Right.
You know, and you know that it was real things going down over there, and you can see the people and that they relate to it. So just seeing that, and then in Africa, just the the height of Islam, and just seeing it up close and personal for an entire month. And it's to me, over here in America, a lot of us are like, it's a religion, and we're too tapped into what the Western civilization
Right.
categorizing. It's a way of life, and people treat you to those codes, so it don't matter what color somebody is, or what is my brother, my sister, and then living up to what their expectations are in that particular faith or that particular culture, and treating the next person just like it. And that's some of the things that I've encountered and seen in some of these other places. And then you got the bad too, the whatever perception that people are seeing around the globe, you're going to get that. It's not as brash or negative how we would do it over here, but
Right.
they'll at least tell you. I had a lot of folks like, this guy, thought I was either. A lot of people thought I was from Africa until I spoke.
Wow.
Yeah, they thought, and that's real big for our brothers and sisters over here. That just
Right.
tells you a lot right there. But then when I spoke, they were like, "Are you from UK, United Kingdom?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm not from United Kingdom or nothing. I don't even think I speak with a UK accent.
Right.
But they were like, "Because you can't be from America." And I'm
Wow.
thinking like, why is that? Why is that? But what videos are they seeing of our people?
Right.
What are they looking? What is their view when they see a black man in America right now? What they think?
Right.
We've been here, so we kind of like, we know times have changed, but in our age group, we still see us as what music we was rocking, what we liked. But the perception outside is whatever's now, and that's what they're seeing, and they're thinking that is every black person that's coming up and has our look, our way of our walk, our swag,
Right.
whatever it is. They're looking at that like, that's what they are. That's what they're doing out there, and it's far from the truth. So
Exactly.
misunderstanding, and just really getting a chance to know people are some of the things that are a result of them not really being in tune with what's going on over here, because they got real problems over there just like we got over here.
That's a fact right there. And wow, that's powerful when you just said that. Like, so the way that we're misrepresented over here, or what the world is pumping, these mainstream companies, what they're pushing out, that's how the world perceives that we are.
Yeah, that's what they thinking that we are, man. So and we're one of those entertainment capitals. Whatever we're doing is what people want to follow. Like a lot of the vendors out there are not, especially in Africa, they don't get real Nike, but they
Right.
selling them at the shops. They pressing them up and pushing it.
Wow.
They're rocking Lacoste and all that stuff. That's Italy's right across the way, so they're really influenced by Italian. They got a lot of those those clothes out there, and shades and all that, and they're just influenced by that life. And you see their lane, and I just sit back and I'm watching them, and I'm like, okay, I see y'all
Right.
out here. I'm not mad at y'all. I see what y'all, and then as you go into West Africa and whatnot, you got a lot of the brothers and sisters out there that's into the native clothing, the stuff that we have started to wear over here again, to
Right.
kind of not shelter that heritage. You see a lot of that being worn on parts like that. But in the upper Mediterranean countries, they're influenced heavily by what's going on in Europe and what's going on over here.
Right. Right. So let me ask you, with the state, without being too deep, because we don't want to offend nobody.
Okay.
The state of the world, the black community right now, what as MCs and artists can we do? I know we can be more responsible with our lyrics, but what part can we play to rewrite this narrative? Because a lot of times I listen, the direction it's going, it's on the wrong route, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
How as artists can we to these younger generations, reach them and open their eyes, because we once had our time when we was wilding, you know what I'm saying? Certain things we listened to was on the wrong route to our elders.
Yeah.
What can we do to rewrite that narrative and uplift our people?
Doing what we're doing now, having these platforms that we're doing. Um, Whenever we think an idea, put it to play. Like if we want to do these movies, let's do one. Create a different narrative to it where we're not going to these people and having them tell us what we want to do. We're
Right.
going to do it the way we want to do it. We're going to put it out the way we want to put it out. We're going to get, quality, you know, making moves to show these kids that they can come up the same way by not having to go to, because really what these artists have done is try to find a way to eat. They
Right.
found a way to try to, live and survive. And they weren't really thinking about the responsibility, hey, my family's starving, I got to come up, or just let me expand my brand. So they were just like, I need that payday.
Right.
But where we at being older, we need to continue the movement that we're on with the artist support, give people a chance to tell different stories, man, and put that out on a major platform where
Right.
people can start to see new stories, where we're not just always looked at as whatever the perception is of a black family,
Right.
or a black artist. We giving them a business people coming together, putting their brands out, doing music, collaborating with folks, trying to get on, putting these shows together, showing behind the scenes on everyday life that we're going through, but we triumph and we rise above. That's
Right.
the type of stuff that we can show them, because that's more realistic. They got a more realistic shot at achieving that than they do, going this industry route and
Right.
doing, whatever somebody else wants you to do, or hey, you better off doing it like this. Nah, do it your way.
Right.
And to do it your way, you're gonna need some help. So
We're
that
gonna
in
need some
order to
help.
do it like that, you're gonna have to come together with some folks that see the same dream in their way, come together, patch this thing up, and move forward accordingly. And
Right.
that's what we can do by showing that we're able to do that together. And hopefully that'll drop, those seeds will hatch, and they'll pick up on that and take it and run with it.
That's a fact right there. We definitely doing that, yo. Salute to the whole team. Salute to
Yeah,
everybody
salute
out
to
there.
everybody out
Oh
there.
yeah, man.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. It's like it's a movement. And the thing about that, and we talk about that all the time, how it's organic. But
Yes.
it's like you said, it's like we all doing the same thing in different ways.
Yep.
But we all need a movement behind us.
Yeah.
We all need help. So it's like as it comes together, we get stronger. Each one lifting each other up. One hand wash the other, both hands wash the face, so to say.
Yep.
But a lot of the people in the team, y'all already knew each other from before, right?
Yep.
So let's talk about how life is like things come back full circle.
Oh man. That's I mean, if you think about it, you know, Hash, man.
Good brother. Yeah, I rock with Hash the long way, definitely.
Yeah, y'all Hash used to slide over next door to this girl that stayed over there next to me. He used to slide over there with her. And that was my first time seeing him.
Right,
I'm about 12 or 13, and he's sliding over with the neighbor girl, you know what I'm saying, chilling out and
right,
hanging out. And then Samantha, we were at the same high school. Tech was a little older, but he was doing his thing around the way. He had a CD and a store out there called Sound Aquarium, where we went and got all of our CDs. I know that sounds freaking ancient to some of these folks, but we
right,
actually, when stuff dropped, we were actually skipping school and going to go scoop it at the stores. And
wow,
he already had the whole album played before we even went back to school. So that support is just something that we already had in us. But as we went our own ways, man, that's the part that's really getting me right now. Is I'm looking at me and Samantha Lincoln, me telling her, hey, you should write some you should write something, like you should
right,
do some reviews or something, like you got some real dope content. Because I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm paying for people to do what she's doing in the past, and it's like they're telling me to copy and paste something and give it to them. So I'm thinking they're going to spin it. They're
Right.
using the same exact stuff that I just gave them and paid them for, that I wrote,
Right.
and putting it in a blog. So I'm like, that's, when she actually went in and actually listened and put her own twist, I'm like, yo, this goes back to old school reviews.
Right.
So I'm like, yo, you got a future in this. So for with her doing that, and it just fast forward to just everybody now, yourself, me included, all the other people that have been on these platforms. I wouldn't have even known none of y'all, man, in November. I
Right.
wouldn't have known any of y'all. Y'all wouldn't even have a clue who I am, and my goal is that everybody would eventually know, but it happened a lot faster. So you
It
can
happened a lot.
imagine what we could do in the upcoming months and years. It's almost scary to see what we can do
As it keeps growing.
together now, especially once some of this stuff is lifted and we're able to move around now.
Right.
Now we're able to move around with a purpose, and that makes it even more detrimental to what is the seeds that are being dropped right now for us to act on this.
Right. And so much ground gets covered because you got people in the Midwest, you got people down in Tampa, Carolina, Philly with Scarfo and them. So it's like your arm can extend a lot further.
Yes.
And
we talk a lot. We
right.
know a lot of people, people are going to talk and be like, well, I know this cat that does this. And I know I've never had a problem with being honest with you guys about something. And then next thing you know, you guys are dropping me off with, hey, man, well, I know this one cat that could help
right.
you. You got your guy on here talking about, engineering. Okay,
right.
boom. Now I got another engineer on the team. So see, just stuff like that, for people watching.
Right.
I wouldn't have gotten that information had I not been on this platform to know that brother engineers. So those type of things right there. Now money is staying within the family,
right.
Instead of going outside to someone who doesn't even really know what you're about. Now the money can stay in circle.
Right.
It can stay with someone who can help what we're doing here. And that's what I want to do. Keep the money that I spend, I want it to be in that circle where everybody's moving forward at the same time.
That's a fact. That's a fact right there. And that's a powerful thing. And it's like everybody brings intricate pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah.
So it's like where one person may be stronger, another person may be strong in another area, but
that's
now
right.
Everybody comes up.
Yeah, no one person is more important than the other.
Right.
And I've said that to a lot of people, they'll be surprised, like, oh man, you're dope, you're skilled. And I'm like, I'm just another part in this puzzle. Like, I don't put myself above anybody. I'm another piece to this, and my journey within is another thing. But as far as what I need to bring to this movement, I'm all for it, playing my role and not putting myself above anyone. And just riding and playing my part, whatever I could do, I'm willing to do to help, using the skill sets that I have, and to better, everyone, because if anyone needs that type of sound or that type of feature, here I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm here, right here. You don't got to worry about, how am I going to get that sound or whatever? It's right here. And if I need somebody for something, it's right there. So that's how it works. We just lift each other up and then keep moving.
That's a fact right there. So for people that's watching that may want to get a feature with you, is it the best way to hit you through the Instagram, or what's the best way?
You can hit me through anything. You can hit me on anything. I'll respond to anything, man. You can hit me up on the Instagram at Pengame Classic. You can hit me up on Facebook. If you're following Scion on there, you can hit me on. I don't really do the Twitter too much, man, but I'm on there too, Pengame Classic as well. And then I got my emails and stuff linked on the IG, and then on my website, it can definitely get me on pengameclassic.com as well.
Okay, so yeah, we got the website up here. I'm gonna drop the IG for the people that's watching right quick.
Yeah, I'm on IG a lot more. It's a lot more interaction going on. Yeah, that's it right there.
Boom. All right. So again, salute to the movement. Tell the people what they can expect from Pengame Classic in the next few months and what you got. We know the album is coming.
Yeah.
Outside of that, what can they expect when things open up? definitely more features, more collabs moving around. What
Working
can they
on
expect
this
from you?
documentary with Hash, and we got a show, for everybody out there in Kansas. We're gonna come to you. We got a show already lined up for July 3rd out there.
Right,
We'll make more announcements on that, but we're coming home back out there to Manhattan, Kansas, with a nice little show. We're gonna try to do more shows as things open. It's just a little testy with the restrictions, man. So we're
right,
working in that, but we set that up on our own. No promoters, no nothing. We did that just in house,
right,
everybody. So a way for everybody to eat. Other than that, down with Certified Nation, helping them out, featuring on there. More business opportunities they come. Keep the
right,
clothing and the merch coming, and just sit back and survey the landscape. And because this thing's been spreading so fast, it's almost like you can't get too ahead. You got to kind of just live in the moment
right,
and maneuver your moment.
right. And it's like it's just happening. Like
Yeah, you don't
overnight,
want
it's
to
just
miss
growing.
nothing. You don't want to miss nothing because everybody, it's like somebody come with something every day, and you like, man, let me evaluate this.
Definitely, definitely, yo. So for those that don't know, who's Pengame? We know who you are, but if you had to tell somebody Pengame, you was breaking it down to somebody else. Who's Pengame Classic?
A father, a husband, a brother, your cousin, your friend that you grew up with, that you used to run around chasing females with, the guy that played with you on your football team, your basketball team. This is a real person, man. That's, someone that you know, got arrested with, you know, just I've been right there with you the whole time,
Right,
so you don't know me, but you do. And definitely a brother that's down for the movement, uh, and someone that's preaching peace and unity.
right,
And more than likely, someone that likes to get comfortable, kick back, laugh, enjoy himself. And everything is artistic with me, so I'm always looking at angles to be artistic in,
right.
because that's my lens. When I look through my eyes, that's the type of lens that I have. So when I see the beauty in everything and in all people.
That's dope right there. So back to the Melo Aphrodite. When can they expect that?
Man, it might be a lot faster now that we got your man that want to be down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So no knock on the engineers right now, but this thing could be done in weeks. But cats, they take their time.
Right.
Whatever their formula is, that's their formula. But you know, this thing could be completely mixed and mastered, man, in weeks. I'm already done with everything. I just
Ju-
got
Just gotta mix
features.
it.
Yeah, I just got features to add on some of the tracks, but it's already done. So
Wow.
we probably got 3 or 4 tracks already mixed. We're
Right.
gonna go with 10, so we only got 6 more left to mix and
Right.
master, and we got the project. After that, now it's the strategy behind it, getting the
Right.
merch ready, getting all the stuff like that, and we could be dropping this thing, man, in April or after April. Anytime after that is a go. So
Right.
it's nothing. We could definitely put that out, and I want to focus on the video aspect of it more too, because I was
Okay.
really limited to that due to COVID-19 with
Right.
graffiti rap. So I want to definitely open that back up and explore and get those videos and that creative lens going for Melo Aphrodite, because it's a dope project. It's going to need to be portrayed almost movie like
Right.
for it to
That
really pop off.
that would definitely be dope. That would
Yeah.
definitely be dope. And not a bad thing. Even in the meantime, the graffiti rap videos as they come out, they classic.
Yeah, we still working on those too,
You know what
but
I'm saying?
yeah, it's gonna be a lot more videos for graffiti rap dropping too. So, we're gonna stretch it out as much as possible to give the people something to see in the meantime as well, to
Right.
keep that graffiti. We're not gonna just throw the graffiti rap to the side either. So
Right.
definitely gonna drop those too.
See, that's one thing that I got to get more visuals. Like I got
Yeah.
music, but I got to get my visuals up.
Yep.
So
The
it's
visuals
something
are
similar.
key.
Yeah, visuals is key nowadays. The way that everything is now, everything you got to be doing something they want to see. They want even down to the process now. It's like even they want to come with you in the studio. It's almost like they want to come in the shower with you. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? But that's how the internet is now. It's like
Yeah.
that, bro.
Yeah,
It's
it
definitely
is.
like that. So
It is. They want to see the whole process.
yeah, and that's not a bad thing because we used to, if you really think about it, like certain artists, when they would put their documentaries out, we live for that.
Yeah, I loved it.
Right.
Loved Backstage.
Yeah.
Loved, Up in Smoke. Loved all these documentaries that dropped. I used to be glued to them.
Man, I remember I seen one on Nas one time. It was like a Queensbridge one way back when Nas was Illmatic Nas though.
Oh, yes.
So it was like one of those rare footage type videos on a VCR tape. So it was like, yo, yeah, bro, that the Wu-Tang, it was like stuff that they had, but they never put out, or they thought, yo, I ain't gonna use that. And somebody leaked it out. You know how back in the day the bootleggers used to get everything.
Oh yeah, bootlegging was an era.
Man, yo, the bootleggers, yo, now it's like, yo, I hate the bootleggers, but back then they was like our best friend. Like, yo, you got that? Yeah, I get. You know what I mean?
For 5.
Yeah, 2 for 5, 2 for 10 type situations. But I say that to say it was all documented even back then.
Yeah.
So, even down to Michael Jackson, even footage of like Marvin Gaye and them surface, somebody had the vision then. We need to document this. We're not gonna always be here. And it's like one thing that I wish I had was more footage of my career. So like if I ever did like a documentary or like they can actually see it versus hearing the stories.
Exactly, man.
But it's like now moving forward, that's one thing that I want to incorporate.
That's one thing I do. That's one thing I do. I'm gonna open up those videos. I got footage from when I was in Arizona with the DJ Quick show, and I got some of the footage when I was with the Black Wall Street artist and Amari Stoudemire came through. Like I captured that footage. Right. The camera wasn't great, but it didn't matter. I made sure I captured that footage and I actually got that on my YouTube for that exact purpose, so people could see like, oh yeah, that cat wasn't lying when he said he was out there really doing those things. Like that stuff that was real. It was actually was going down. So, so fast at the time, you don't think. But that's why I'm saying this feels like it felt for me out there. What we got going on, I can feel the same energy where you waking up every day like, man, it's something special going on. We got to keep doing. We got to keep doing this. So you're right. We're going to need to document. We're going to need to put this thing out the right way. So when the moment is gone, we don't want to regret nothing. We don't want to leave nothing on the table.
Exactly. Because it's going to keep growing. And it's like people going to want to know the story. I be telling Samantha that all the time. Like, yo, people going to want to see. She played an intricate part in a lot of it. So it's like, yo, you need to get that footage behind the scenes. And you know what I'm saying? It's like one day, people going to say, yo, well, who was that? Who was she?
She going to have to narrate the whole damn thing.
You know what I'm saying?
It's going to have to be based around her. And she's going to have to introduce all the parts. And then all the parts will tell their story. Like when you see it, that's the easiest way to break it down. If you were to put it on a storyline for film, is to start with her and have her go through it like that. Like that's the best way to do it. So she's gonna be the centerpiece.
Right. Yeah. So that's something. Yeah, definitely, bro. That's dope, and it's organic and natural. Yeah. And it's like even my cousin that's in the comments, I told him it's like, yo, we get on the phone and we talk, or we on the chat. And it feels like I've known y'all my whole life.
I know. It does, man. It's like a brotherhood, and the family for the women too. It's like a family thing, man. And I've never had that in music because I've moved around in so many areas. If I went somewhere, I was telling people like the best way to describe me going on stages and stuff and doing shows is I would consider myself the road team. Right. Like I never was coming into places where I didn't have that where I'm seeing other artists, they got all their people in the crowd, and I never had that. So every time I stepped on stage, it was in a room full of strangers. Wow. So I had to show out, so to have this finally, I can just know that the energy is going to be tremendous.
It's going.
Oh my God, the energy is going to be off the charts.
Right. And people don't realize that. It's like, even when we do these interviews sometimes, and it's like, I may be interviewing somebody, or I might be getting interviewed, and then it's like, yo, salute, bro, da da da, and the fam starts showing up. It makes you like, yo, it takes some of that anxiety, some of that pressure off. It's like, yo, I'm good here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Where it's like,
in a
when you're
good
doing it
space.
alone, it's like you against the world. It's
I've
like, yo,
lived
you
that
ain't by
too many
yourself,
times. A lot of
bro.
anxiety, a lot of just built up. You don't know what people are gonna expect of you. And as a young man coming up, that really curved, my hunger, and really put me in a place where I never viewed myself when I'm writing a track and I'm like, oh, this is dope right here. Then
Right.
you go on stage and people are just looking. You know what I'm saying? They're reacting how they're reacting, or they're celebrating it. It's a real good, gratifying, humbling experience when you're coming up through this, and it puts it in perspective enough where each time you're around this type of energy, it's to be cherished to the max, man. Because it don't happen like this all the time.
It don't.
There's no guarantee that you're gonna link with cats. Everybody's gonna be on the same page. Everyone's gonna have something to bring to the table. That is like unheard of
It's
in a
definitely unheard.
movement, man. That's something that you don't see often. If one time ever, you're probably anointed that one time, and this
Right.
might just be that one time.
That it's like a unicorn. It's
Yeah,
almost like
you're
seeing
not
that
gonna
unicorn.
see it. You're not gonna see this happen ever again on this level.
Right.
It'll be mimicked, but it won't be the organic. It won't be
Right.
how everything started. It won't be the same without this story. They'll probably go back and look at these stories over and over and over and be like, damn,
Wow.
this is wild. Like, these people gave us so much. And
Right.
right now we looking at this interview and it just feels like we just chopping it up.
Right.
But we want it to be something that people look at down the line and be like, man, we saw this coming. Look at, we saw this thing coming. And
Right.
that's what these interviews are for right here, putting it on that platform and linking and building with y'all.
Exactly, yo. And we just growing together, yo. We got Hash coming next week. I might have you pop up on him and surprise
I'll definitely pop up because we can relate.
Right. Definitely, yo. So he's gonna be here next Friday. It's gonna probably be around the same time. So yeah.
I'm down. I'm always down for the movement, man. I'm down.
Definitely. So we definitely set that up, yo. I'm excited, yo. I mean, I done asked all the questions, yo. You got anything else you want to tell the people? We just chopping it at this point now. We just chopping it up.
Well, we're gonna chop it because I got probably like an inch of battery power left up here.
Okay.
I got it in safe power mode, so it's yellow.
Oh man. Okay, yeah. So yo, I'm gonna put the kids up. If y'all on the line later, I'm gonna put them to sleep. Then I'll jump up there on the line.
Okay, bet.
All right, you got any last words for the people before we sign off then?
Yeah, man. Man, everybody out there, man. Much love to y'all, no matter where you're at, where you're from. We got a beautiful thing going. My beautiful people out there, stay up. I know we're going through some hard times right now. We don't know what the hell is going on, but we need to uplift each other. We need to stay together, man. We need to definitely be humble in our approach and move with a purpose. So when we start opening this thing up, I want to tap in with people that want to shoot movies. I want to tap or videos that's like movies. Like, let's step up the creativity. Let's move to a level where we're really putting ourselves out there. We got the strength numbers, and we got people, and we got girls, and let's all link together and really put something masterful together. We can really, really expand it and be like I don't know if we cutting it out. There we go. And then, definitely stay tuned for the music that we got. There's a lot of features coming. We all want to do as many features as we can this year. So anybody that's trying to reach out, definitely, link. Let's get this music out. Let's pump this sound throughout the whole country, and let's really solidify something, man. Let's make our mark in this, man. Let's really put it down and compete in a fruitful way where we're just bringing our skill set to the table and putting it up with everybody else's like we belong to.
That's a fact right there. That's definitely a fact right there. Shout out to OG Tech.
OG Tech in the building.
Yeah. Let me see.
Big things coming with OG Tech too. So
definitely.
Yeah.
The certified nation too.
Yeah. Shout out City the Great. Shout out Burns. Shout out
Brooklyn
everybody
Bread.
that's part of that.
Right.
Brooklyn Bread, my man.
Lion Palm.
Definitely. Chop.
Oh yeah, yo.
Choppy.
Yo, I gotta get some of that chicken, yo. I ain't gonna front the way that they
Get some of
be
that.
talking about. I gotta get it.
Man, I haven't had Jamaican. Man, I went to this spot out in Houston one time. Man, it was like a storage unit.
Right.
Man, we go up in there, man. They had the storage unit with the freaking restaurant in a storage unit, bro. Out there
Wow.
in Houston, I think we're on the northwest side of town.
Right.
Out there, and these cats was making some jerk chicken in there, man. That just was, oh my god, man. My mouth was on fire, y'all, but the chicken was so good, man.
Yeah, I can imagine. It be
Oh.
spots like that. Like I don't really supposed to be eating in here, but that be the best spots.
Oh my god, that chicken was so good, man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to just linking with those brothers, man, and musically and food as well as well. Too.
For real, bro.
Shit.
Yo, the way they be talking about it, like, yo, I got to have some, yo. I got to have it.
Without a doubt.
That's a fact right there, bro. But I know you said your battery getting low, so we ain't gonna go out like that. We're gonna sign off the right way so it don't just cut off. Yo, bro, much love.
Much love to having me, bro.
Pengame Classic. Y'all check them out on all platforms. Graffiti Rap out now on all platforms.
Yes, sir.
Yo, be on the lookout for the new project. Y'all definitely hear more about it in the coming weeks. Yo, salute to you, my brother, and I thank you again.
Yeah, shout out to Justin Banks, the producer on Graffiti Rap. You know, his name on Instagram is Just Don Banks. So y'all definitely check him out for production like that off of Graffiti Rap. We out.
All right, we out. Peace, bro. Love.